The United States and Mexico share a bond unlike any other. They are neighbors, inextricably linked by geography, history, and culture. Their destinies are intertwined, for better or worse. This complex relationship is characterized by cooperation and conflict, partnership and competition. The two countries are bound together by a shared border of over 1,900 miles, a vibrant trade relationship worth billions of dollars, and the daily movement of people and goods. Yet they also grapple with contentious issues such as immigration, drug trafficking, and security concerns. Understanding this dynamic is crucial to navigating the complexities of the 21st century. Despite the challenges, the US and Mexico share common interests. Both nations benefit from a stable and prosperous Mexico. A strong Mexican economy translates into a stronger trading partner for the US, creating jobs and opportunities on both sides of the border. Moreover, a secure Mexico is essential for US national security, preventing the flow of drugs, weapons, and potential threats. The two countries have a vested interest in working together to address shared challenges and build a more prosperous and secure future for their citizens. The future of US-Mexico relations will depend on their ability to find common ground, manage their differences, and forge a path forward based on mutual respect and cooperation. At the heart of US-Mexico relations lies a complex web of bilateral issues, each with its own set of challenges and opportunities. Border security remains a top priority for both nations, with concerns over illegal immigration, drug trafficking, and human smuggling. The US government, under the Trump administration, has taken a hardline approach, pushing for increased border security measures, including the construction of a wall along the US-Mexico border. Mexico, for its part, has sought to balance its own security concerns with the need to protect the human rights of migrants and asylum seekers. The issue of immigration is deeply intertwined with border security, as both countries grapple with the flow of people seeking a better life. The US relies heavily on Mexican labor, particularly in agriculture and other industries, while Mexico grapples with the social and economic consequences of migration. Drug trafficking, fueled by the insatiable demand for narcotics in the US, continues to plague both nations. Mexican cartels, with their vast networks and ruthless tactics, pose a significant threat to security and stability on both sides of the border. The US and Mexico have cooperated extensively in combating drug trafficking, but the problem persists, highlighting the need for innovative and comprehensive solutions. The political landscape of the US and Mexico has a profound impact on bilateral relations. The election of Donald Trump in 2016 ushered in a period of uncertainty and tension. Trump's rhetoric on immigration, trade, and security, often directed at Mexico, strained relations and raised concerns about the future of the bilateral relationship. His demands for a border wall, threats to withdraw from the North American Free Trade Agreement, and pressure on Mexico to curb migration flows created friction and tested the limits of the partnership. In Mexico, the election of Andrés Manuel López Obrador in 2018 brought about a significant shift in Mexican politics. López Obrador, a left-leaning populist, campaigned on a platform of change, promising to address corruption, inequality, and violence. His approach to foreign policy, emphasizing dialogue and diplomacy, marked a departure from the more pragmatic approach of his predecessors. The relationship between Trump and López Obrador was marked by both pragmatism and tension. While the two leaders found common ground on issues such as trade and migration, their differences in style and ideology were evident. The specter of powerful drug cartels hangs heavy over US-Mexico relations. These criminal organizations, with their vast networks and ruthless tactics, pose a significant threat to security and stability on both sides of the border. The cartels are involved in a wide range of illicit activities, including drug trafficking, human smuggling, extortion, and kidnapping. Their influence extends deep into the fabric of Mexican society, corrupting officials, intimidating communities, and undermining the rule of law. The Sinaloa cartel, once headed by the notorious Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, remains a major player in the drug trade, despite Guzman's extradition to the US. The Jalisco New Generation cartel, known for its extreme violence and rapid expansion, has emerged as a dominant force in recent years, challenging the Sinaloa cartel's supremacy. The CJNG's brazen attacks on security forces and civilians alike have underscored the growing threat posed by these criminal organizations. The cartels' ability to operate with impunity is a testament to their power and reach, as well as the challenges faced by the Mexican government in combating them. Human rights concerns cast a long shadow over U.S.-Mexico relations. Both countries face challenges in upholding the rights of their citizens, particularly in the context of security operations and migration enforcement. In Mexico, human rights abuses by security forces, including extrajudicial killings, torture, and disappearances, have been widely documented. The Mexican government has taken steps to address these abuses, but impunity remains a serious problem. The U.S. government's policies on immigration and border security have also raised human rights concerns. The separation of families at the border, the detention of migrants in overcrowded and unsanitary conditions, and the Trump administration's Remain in Mexico policy, which forced asylum seekers to wait in dangerous Mexican border towns, have been widely condemned by human rights groups. The Biden administration has pledged to reverse many of these policies, but the situation at the border remains challenging. The U.S. has a long history of providing assistance to Mexico, reflecting the interconnectedness of the two nations and the shared interest in a stable and prosperous Mexico. U.S. assistance has taken various forms over the years, from development aid to security cooperation. The Merida Initiative, launched in 2008, has been a cornerstone of U.S.-Mexico security cooperation, providing billions of dollars in assistance to combat drug trafficking, strengthen law enforcement, and promote the rule of law. The Merida Initiative has been credited with some successes, including the capture of high-level drug traffickers and the seizure of drugs and weapons. However, it has also been criticized for its focus on militarization and its failure to adequately address human rights concerns. The Biden administration has signaled a shift in its approach to Mexico, emphasizing issues such as migration, climate change, and economic development. Mexico's economic outlook is a source of both hope and concern. The country has made significant strides in recent decades, transforming itself into a major manufacturing hub and a key player in the global economy. However, Mexico also faces significant challenges including poverty, inequality, corruption, and violence. The COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated these challenges, dealing a blow to the Mexican economy and highlighting the country's vulnerabilities. The Mexican government has taken steps to address these challenges, implementing economic reforms and social programs aimed at promoting growth and reducing poverty. However, much work remains to be done. The outcome of Mexico's economic future will have significant implications for both Mexico and the United States. A strong and stable Mexican economy is in the best interests of both nations, while an economic downturn in Mexico could have spillover effects on the U.S., particularly in border states. The United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA, which replaced NAFTA in 2020, is a testament to the deep economic ties between the three North American nations. The USMCA, while not without its critics, is widely seen as an improvement over NAFTA, with stronger labor and environmental provisions. The agreement aims to promote free trade, create jobs, and boost economic growth in all three countries. The USMCA is more than just a trade agreement, it is a framework for cooperation on a wide range of issues, including labor, the environment, intellectual property, and digital trade. The agreement includes mechanisms for resolving disputes and ensuring that all three countries are held accountable to their commitments. The USMCA has the potential to deepen economic integration and cooperation between the US, Mexico, and Canada. The road ahead for US-Mexico relations is fraught with both uncertainties and opportunities. The two nations are bound together by geography, history, and a complex web of shared interests and concerns. The challenges they face, from migration and drug trafficking to security and economic development, are complex and interconnected. Addressing these challenges will require sustained cooperation, mutual understanding, and a willingness to find common ground. The Biden administration has signaled a desire to reset relations with Mexico, emphasizing diplomacy, dialogue, and a more cooperative approach. However, the legacy of the Trump era, coupled with the ongoing challenges at the border and the enduring power of the cartels, will continue to test the relationship. The future of US-Mexico relations will depend on the ability of both nations to move beyond past grievances, address their differences constructively, and build a partnership based on mutual respect and shared responsibility. The stakes are high, not just for the US and Mexico, but for the entire region. As we delve deeper into the dynamics of US-Mexico relations, it's impossible to ignore the profound impact of the powerful drug cartels, particularly those led by notorious figures like El Mayo and Chapo. Ismael El Mayo Zambada and Joaquin El Chapo Guzman have been central figures in the Sinaloa cartel, one of the most influential and violent criminal organizations in the world. El Mayo, often considered the more strategic and low-profile leader, has managed to evade capture for decades. His ability to adapt and maintain control has made the Sinaloa cartel resilient, even as other cartels have risen and fallen. On the other hand, El Chapo's dramatic escapes and eventual capture have made him a household name, symbolizing the brutal and pervasive nature of the cartel's operations. The influence of these two figures extends far beyond Mexico's borders. Their operations have fueled the drug trade across the United States, exacerbating the opioid crisis and contributing to significant social and economic costs. The cartel's activities also impact bilateral concerns, from border security and immigration to the flow of illegal firearms and money laundering. The US and Mexico have long struggled to combat the power and reach of these cartels. Efforts to dismantle their networks have often been met with violence and corruption, making it a daunting task for both governments. The legacy of El Mayo and Chapo continues to cast a long shadow over US-Mexico relations, complicating efforts to foster cooperation and mutual trust. As both nations navigate this complex landscape, the need for a coordinated and comprehensive approach to tackle the cartel menace becomes ever more urgent. Only through sustained efforts and genuine collaboration can they hope to mitigate the influence of these criminal powerhouses and build a safer, more stable future for their citizens. The challenge is immense, but so too is the potential for change. By addressing the root causes of cartel power and fostering a spirit of partnership, the US and Mexico can turn the tide against this enduring threat and pave the way for a more secure and prosperous region.